Okay, my video cut off, so I am posting the second part that did not get posted, um, and this will be part two of week 5, group 1 response. So looking back, I think I have been able to figure out where it left off, and I wanted to provide an example of emergent properties, and the example that I use is looking at my son's soccer team. Um, we get down to looking at how individuals function by themselves, how they can kick a ball, how they can run, if they can hit the goal. But when you look at the team, you actually have something that you didn't have before. There are a lot of other factors involved, like competition, peer pressure, encouragement, coaching, all of these other interactions that aren't present just by lining the kids up at practice and kicking the ball in the goal. So I look at that as just my own personal example of these emergent properties. Then also, the last question being compare and contrast these critical research methods, rather, were used in Latin America versus the U.S. And on 279 and 280, they talk about this. Um, and I like the word that's used for the U.S. version, which is more of a colonializing method, where in the past we have observed um, a group from the outside, much like looking at them from a window, and not being part of them, but just observing and getting information from them, watching kind of at them rather than part of them. Um, that's contrasting with Latin America. He uses the example of how there the researcher actually became part of the group using this critical research method. And I think, the similarity is comparing the two is that you're going to get the outcomes. You're going to see, let's say, for example, that, women, let's say, in a struggling, economically struggling group, women struggle to provide clean water for their children. Both research methods will show you that. The critical research method, when the researcher, let's say in Latin America, is actually part of this group, has worked with the women, empowered them in order to, help in conducting research to become part of the process. The critical researcher actually learns the reasons why um, clean water is difficult to attain. Something, potentially causing pollutants in the water, all of these things that would come up, or maybe it's the length of time it takes to get to clean water, and they don't have an option, for how to care for their children when they're doing it. All of these things come out when a researcher is part of the group and finding out this, through day-to-day struggles, as opposed to merely observing from the outside. You don't necessarily get the same feedback that you would have gotten when you are actually there understanding the difficulties that are there. So I just wanted to post that to make sure that I got all of my answers in, and I apologize for having to do it in G parts. I'm not sure what happened. So hopefully this one will go up again. So there we go. Thanks.